Hi Pisces, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. This is going to be a general yearly reading for 2025. And in today's reading, we're going to be looking at, first of all, power. And I'm going to look at what pattern or old habit that's no longer serving you needs to be released in 2025 so that you can take back your power. I'm also going to be looking at truth, and that's going to be what false idea or belief system do you have about yourself that you need to become aware of. And then I'm going to be looking at purpose, and I want to know what's the main obstacle that's preventing you from moving towards your true purpose in 2025. So let's get going. I want to welcome everyone here today, and especially those of you that are coming back for, a second, third, many times that you've been here, and also for my new subscribers. So I'm going to put you on speed shuffle. It's going to take less than a minute. It'll take me about 10 minutes here to set this up, but I will be back in 1 minute with you. Okay, Pisces, I'm back. So we're going to start off with this top row. And first of all, before I do that, I want to explain these two sides right here that you have. So you have on your left side, my right, is your outer world. And that is what you're consciously aware of in regards to these three themes that I'm going to read for you right now. And so if I were to sit down with you, you would know what I'm talking about. And what tarot does is it brings awareness to this as well. And so that's your outer world. And then you have what is your inner world. And this is your unconscious. And it's your shadow. It is something, this is from your childhood and your teenage years. It's all those things that we put away about ourselves, things that people told us. You can find big emotions here sometimes that, you weren't allowed to feel when you were younger. Maybe you were shamed for it. Your trauma, everybody has trauma on a continuum, is here. Your memories are here. All those things that the inner children, your inner parts will hold are sitting right here in your shadow. Now, it's very interesting. If you've been on the healing journey for a while, you might know this, but this is a healing channel, and I often talk about the mirror effect that the outer world has with the inner world. So your outer world that you see, and you'll see that it's sitting on a mirror in the little chart I have above, because it is a reflection of you, of your inside. So everything out there, and that's why, we have triggers, because everything out there is reflecting to us what we need to heal. And so when I go through each of these topics, I'm also going to go through your shadow, and we're going to look at what needs to heal. And so let's get started with and then I'll give you some advice for the tarot at the end. And I'll also leave you with a couple of videos on grounding and on journaling, which are my number one tools that I use for my own intensive healing journey that I'm on. So we're going to start off with your outer world. I want to look at, Pisces, what pattern or old habit is no longer serving you, and you need to release it in order for you to take back your power. So let's look at this top row right here. And the first card that comes out is Justice. Beautiful card of this individual doing this balancing act, kind of trying to figure out, what move is the right move, what move is the wrong move, because at any time we know what's going to happen if they make the wrong move. And I think for you, a big pattern of yours is trying to bring some sort of understanding or justice to what is going on in your system, because I know you feel like there's something stirring inside of you, and it's probably something that comes up, goes away, comes up, goes away. It's kind of like this pattern of yours, and I think it's time now where let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's happening what's underneath all of this, right? So you're wanting some real clarity. You're wanting to bring justice to something. And, before I even said anything, maybe I needed to look at this card, but it really does kind of support what I was saying. It's the Judgment card. It's in reverse. The Judgment card in an upright position talks about this angel that's calling these people out of their coffins, kind of waking them up out of their sleep here. And they're very, very vulnerable, very naked, very willing to hear the call. They're hearing this nudge. Something's calling them, right? Trying to wake them up. But it's in reverse here, so it's very much blocked, and that tells me that, I was right on. As I was saying that to you about how you've been feeling this, something, trying to come up, I guess, something, and I didn't see this card yet, so it's like, and honestly, in my head, I'm going, why are you saying that? Sometimes I'll say things and I'll go, why are you saying that? But it was just like, okay. So I think this is your pattern, and your habit is something comes up, something stirring inside of you. You feel some sort of calling coming up for you. And then the last card is the Seven of Cups. And look at this individual. Look at these beautiful cups on offer. All these bizarre items that are coming out of these cups, right? And it's like, oh my God, which one do I choose? It's so distracting out here. So that's the pattern with you, is that when this feeling of this calling that's coming in, and you feel it, there's something there like a nudge, right? This is what this is. I call this often a nudge that's coming in for you. You get distracted. Things distract you out there. It's almost like, sometimes this card, I say it's a dissociative card. It's like you can really distract yourself because you're not wanting to look at it. You don't want to look at it. So you easily get distracted. Now we're going to look at your shadow, because we want to look at what is coming up here for healing. It's the nudges here, but you're like, no, don't want to do it. I'm going to go and distract myself somehow. Well, the first card that comes in is the Four of Cups. And in an upright position, this individual is sitting here on his chair, really comfortable, almost going to fall here, but that's how comfortable he is. I'm a retired teacher, and it kind of reminds me of those kids that sat at their desk, and I had to, interrupt the lesson and say, listen, put your chair down, because you just knew that it was going to happen. And this individual becoming so comfortable with his 3 cups sitting there, right, on his table. He's like, I'm not willing to look at this. Look at this hand right here. Look at this hand that's coming in. And this right here reminds me of the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is a gift. It's an offer from the universe that says, listen, Pisces, do you not want to feel this? Look at this cup. Here's another chance for you to go maybe a little bit deeper, or let's get into, we need to feel this. There's something here for you to feel, and you're going, no, thanks. I got these 3 cups here. I'm good. I'm going to lean back in my chair. And it's almost like a precarious position that this person's sitting in, because they've decided they don't want to feel here. But that this comes up every so often. It's like, no, I don't want to deal with this. And then right behind it is the Three of Pentacles. And Three of Pentacles is a co-creation card. You can see these 3 individuals that they're working together. They're trying to do something here in this church, repair something, or, they're working together towards something. And I see this card to me because this is a healing channel. And, usually this card speaks about therapy, but because this is in your shadow, and this is about your childhood, where, there was something that would have happened to you right here, where you kind of shut down your emotions. It was like, I think a part of you, tried to show these three emotions, and it's kind of like there's something that happened to you and it's like, no, I'm not doing it anymore, and I'm shut down, and you were not willing to look at your emotions anymore, because I think you knew, this is in reverse, so I think you knew that you wouldn't get the support or the validation. So, if it was, let's say, for example, it was the emotion of anger, and you were told, you're not allowed to show your anger. And so it was one of those emotions that you put away, and you knew that you couldn't take it out because you wouldn't be validated or supportive. And I think when we are, our emotions are very shut down when we're younger, it's a lot of pain there. And this was in reverse, that's blocked. And so I think what you learned at a very young age to just block all your pain because you weren't allowed, you weren't supported to show your emotions when you were younger. And yet there's this nudge that keeps coming up for you, like Pisces. It's time to start to feel some of these emotions and this pain right here, that you need to feel from your childhood. And Pisces, you are a sign that is very sensitive. And I'm wondering, like, you have great sensitivity. And I'm wondering when you were younger if you were that kind of an individual where you showed, I mean, we can be, as a child, we can be, especially your sign, we can be so gentle and so kind and so compassionate. And then when we get burned when we're younger, where we're told we can't show those emotions, it becomes a really painful thing when we can't show our emotions. And I think that's where, I think it's time now for you to start to allow yourself to feel some of these emotions. And the second thing we're going to look at is truth. And so in your conscious world, in your outer world, you have the main card of the Lovers in reverse. And this card's a beautiful card. These two elephants, it has these elephants that put their heads together, and they have the third eye, this eye of wisdom, this eye of higher knowing, inner knowing, inner wisdom. And the Lover's card is about a choice. And so there's this false idea or belief about yourself that we need to look at here. And I think you believe, because this is in reverse, you believe that the choice here that this card, the Lover's card, often portrays for me is that choice to go inwards. That choice to go inwards and start to do some of this work up here, this feeling, this healing that you need to do. And this card represents, you have a choice, Pisces. You can continue to try to fight this and keep yourself really distracted. Excuse me. And but you have a choice here that is saying, this is a card where you can choose now to go inwards. And I think your belief system here, your false idea about yourself, is that maybe you don't think, for some reason, you don't think you have that choice, or you think that, why bother? Why bother going forward? It's not going to do anything. Or sorry, why bother going inwards? It's not going to do anything. And I can see here that this why bother, it seems to me that you might have a feeling of real hopelessness around that, because your Knight of Pentacles came out right behind this Lover's card in reverse. And the Knight is a part of us. I like to say it's a freedom fighter. It's that adolescent part of us that wants to be free from control. That control that you would have felt when you were younger, where they told you couldn't feel your emotions. It wants to move towards your authenticity. And yet there's that part of you inside of you that wants to be free. And I think that's why this keeps coming up for you, this Justice card, where, there's a part of you that wants to be free from this pain that you've been carrying for too long here. But because it's been coming up, and you've been blocking it and coming up and blocking it. I think it's caused a lot of hopelessness on your part. I think you're feeling very hopeless to do this. I don't think you see, how this is going to help you, how going inwards and maybe grounding yourself in your body, because this is the pentacle here that this knight is carrying. It's the body, right? Because we tend to forget about our body. We tend to stay up in our head, which is the 7 of Cups, distracted, right? Staying up in our head so that we don't have to go inwards and feel our emotions, because that's where all our emotions are. Very, very interesting that this Lover's card came out here at the beginning here with this third eye right here, that knowing. I like to say that intuition, that inner knowing here, that's blocked right now, and because we can only reach that inner knowing of ourselves when we're grounded in our body. Our intuition isn't up here, it's in our body. It's that inner knowing, that deep inner knowing, of things that happened to you when you were younger that you need to look at. And the last card that comes out in this false idea or belief that you have about yourself is the reason why you have this false idea, why you think you can't go inwards, why you think you can't get back to your truth, why you think you can't do this, why you block it. It's because you have the King of Swords here. And the King in my deck is our ego self. It's the masculine side of us. We all have a masculine side and a feminine side. It doesn't matter what gender you are. And our ego self with the sword of truth, the sword of your authenticity, does not want you to get back to who you really are. This part of us, this ego self, the one that keeps us up in our head, distracted all the time, it's the one that likes to put all the masks on and protect us, keep us protected, And when we go out into society, we put all these masks on. We hide who our true authentic self is. This ego is a protector part. It's been there since we were young. Because, when you had these big emotions when you were younger, and they caused you a lot of pain. And there's a lot of pain there that you needed to feel and you couldn't when you were younger because you weren't supported. This ego self will come in and it'll put you right up in your head. It'll dissociate you so that you don't have to go in your body and feel. And so you have this belief that, I think you're feeling a lot of hopelessness around it. Why bother? What's it going to do? How's it going to change? How's it going to change anything about my situation right now? Let's look at what's in your shadow in regards to this illusion that you have that, why bother going inwards? Well, you have the 5 of Pentacles in here, and here's where the hopelessness is coming from. When you were younger, I want you to look at this in an upright position, this 5 of Pentacles. I want you to picture that as yourself right here, this child, this smashed pentacle here. 5 of Pentacles is very much a card about feeling unworthy. You have these hands that are coming out offering your help, and you don't even see the helping hands. You didn't have those helping hands when you were younger. I think there's a real part of you that felt unworthy when you were younger, felt a lot of shame, and that's blocked right here. And there wasn't anybody to help you with your unworthiness and your hope and your feeling of hopelessness. And that's what's coming out for you right now, and that's why you're feeling that. I will say before I continue that if you are one of these people that go in and out of hopelessness or bouts of depression, and there's one thing that you need to remember about depression, is that our hopelessness that we feel, and I know mainstream psychology doesn't put this out there, but I know because I'm somebody that goes through in and out of depression. Not as much as I did before, because I've healed quite a bit of that part of me, is that it's not about now. The hopelessness that you feel right now, we think it's about our situation now, but it's not. It's a reflection of what we had, how we felt when we were younger, this little child right here. And so you had a lot of shame, you had a lot of unworthiness. And in your shadow, no surprise, sitting right behind that Five of Pentacles is your Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is an inner child. All my pages are inner children. And this particular page, he's about 4, 5, 6 years old. She, they, whatever you want to call them, they're about 4, 5, 6 years old. And they knew at 4, 5, 6 years old what it meant to be in their body. They were in their body when they were younger. They had all these emotions that they felt. And because they were blocked, and because, you know, there were some big emotions here that were blocked for you when you were younger, and you had all this pain right here, this is where our inner children come in. They hold our pain, and they need healing. And this one's in reverse because it's blocked. You have that inner child of yours, that unworthy inner child right here, that felt some real shame and hopelessness when they were younger. And now you have an inner child inside of you that needs healing. And it's coming up for you all the time. That's what's coming up all the time for you, to heal. But you have this illusion that you can't go inwards and feel. And then, oh, wow, no surprise that your third position in your shadow is the exact same, almost the exact same here with the King of Swords. So you had your ego self coming out here, and then you get the Emperor in reverse, which is another card to represent masculine energy. This time it's the Major Arcana. And the Emperor card speaks about this individual that's been sitting on this chair for so long, and he hasn't had to move because he's created these rules for society that says, you know, you're allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do this. And very masculine, heavy, almost like a father-like figure. So maybe you can relate to this. Maybe it was a father-like figure for you. But it's very like a controlling type of person, and because it's in your shadow. So I'm going to say that you might have come from a very controlling environment. You know, told you what you were supposed to, how you were supposed to cry, when you were supposed to cry, what emotions you weren't allowed to feel. And I think that's what's coming up here. And so, and that's why you're very much afraid to, as a child, you were extremely petrified to touch those emotions if you were told you weren't supposed to. So you put those all away because, you know, some were good, some were not so good, and you put them away. And so when they're coming up here for healing, well, it's like, no, I can't go inwards. There's no way I can go inwards because these are big emotions. But the thing is, you were a child here. You're an adult now. You can handle these big emotions. And that's what we're so scared of as adults, to feel our emotions. But we're an adult now. We have to feel what our younger inner children couldn't feel when they were younger. And so the last one is the purpose. What is the main obstacle that's preventing you from moving towards something for you, a creative purpose towards what you want to do? Something's different for you. People might look at you and go, what the hell are you doing? But it could be a small little step, something you want to do for yourself that you've always wanted to do, right? And you start off with the Page of Swords right here, another inner child. This time it's the sword, and this is the sword of truth. This is your truth right here. This is the inner child that knew who you were, who your authentic person, who your authentic part of you was. And they're blocked right now. They're blocked right now. So you have this is the second inner child that's come up, and you have a third one coming up here. I'm going to say this is a huge inner child reading for you, because you have 3 inner children that have come up here. Believe it or not, we can have more than one inner child. I know mainstream psychology says we just have one, but I've been on my own healing journey to know that I have more than one inner child, because they hold different parts of us. This one holds your truth. This one holds, it's the one about getting back in your body and knowing that you were very grounded when you were younger. And so this is another inner child that needs healing. When our inner children come out, they need to heal. They need to grieve. They need to feel their shame. You know, that's that Page of Pentacle that holds the self-worth. Pentacle is all about your body and your self-worth. And then the Emperor card sits right in between. I have to show you this. Your Emperor card sits right in between, in an upright position, your two pages. Here's your Page of Swords that we just talked about. And here's your other inner child, the Page of Cups. And here's the Emperor card. We already know that there's a huge part of you. I'm going to say your ego self, what you were taught when you were younger, the rules of society that you were taught in your home or from society about emotions and feeling and going inwards and getting back in your body and feeling. I'm going to say it was very much a controlling environment for you. And I think you continue to live up in your head where your ego self wants to keep you, because there's so many big emotions that are sitting here for you, Pisces, to feel. And there's just this part of you, your ego self, that's blocking it all. I want to really talk about this little Page of Cups right here. If I had to pick one page out of my deck, and there's 4 of them, and you have 3 of them sitting on the table, this is the one that you really need to pay attention to, and this is the Page of Cups. It's the biggest one because it causes the most chaos in your life. It wreaks havoc in your life if it's not healed, because it's carrying the cup of love. It has love backing it up. This is the inner part of you, the inner child, that will continue to attract, manifest toxic people in your life. And so if you're someone that can't figure out why you keep having the same people in your life, it could be the same, like if you pay attention to your patterns, it could be the same intimate partners. It doesn't have to be that, but it can be like colleagues at work or friends. And you'll see different patterns of, why are people continuing to shit on me? You know, why are they doing this to me? You are the sign that is the most, like I said, you have this underneath everything here. You have a very kind, gentle, very compassionate side to you. And people have hurt you. And I think that's why it was very easy for them to hurt you, because you had this real compassionate side to you. And people continue to hurt you. This is the little love seeker that will go out and try to find that one person that's going to give them the love that they didn't have when they were younger. And it'll continue to be that chameleon. It'll change their behavior. Like if you go towards one person and they treat you like this, well, I'm going to change my behavior and maybe they'll love me this time. And this is what this card does. It's a powerful card. If I had to pick one card on this table, this is the most powerful card, because it is the one that continues to bring all these people and repeat all these patterns of ours. And I think that's why there's such a big call here for you to get back to your authenticity and who you are. And finally, get to the bottom of, why have these people done this to me all my life? Why do I feel so unworthy about myself? Well, because people dumped on you. People did this to you. And now it's time for you to pick up your sword of authenticity and, find out who the real Pisces is under all of this. And so you have the 2 pages here that need desperate healing. And this Page of Cups right here needs to grieve. They need to be heard. They need to be listened to. I'm going to give you like I said, a journaling playlist at the end. And that's how I get in touch with my inner children. I write to them. And I ask them, what do they need from me? Because they need you to almost like reparent them. because they needed that when they were younger and they didn't get it. And so let's look at what's happening here with your shadow and why, what needs healing in order for you to, you know, start to move in the direction of your authenticity and heal some of this pain, these inner children that are in a lot of pain right here. Well, when you were younger, here's the Seven of Cups right here. Absolutely amazing that if you look on this reading, the diagonal, here's the Seven of Cups in an upright position, and then it comes back in an reversed position, but exact diagonal here. And so I think when you were younger, here's a Seven of Cups, and it's that one where, you know, you had a lot of distraction. I think you had a lot of chaos growing up, and I think because of that, you just kind of gave up, and that's where the ego self can come in, and it can really take you out of your body, which is where you naturally are when you're younger, and bring you up in your head. And it dissociates you because there's just too much pain for a younger child to deal with. So there's a lot of pain here, and we already established that with the three young inner children coming up. Oh my God, I just saw this. This is incredible. Oh God, I gotta show you this. This is your shadow, and sometimes these cards wow me. Here's two Seven of Cups in reverse. Here's one, and here's the other one. This is your shadow. So this tells me that when you were younger, you were very much dissociated as a child. I mean, two bookends here, right? And what's in the middle is this Six of Wands. So let me talk about the Six of Wands that's in the middle and what it means to me. The Six of Wands is a card of duality. All my sixes in the deck represent this duality. And it's a card of, you know, on the outside, it looks like it's a victory card. And it is called the victory card. And, you know, tarot readers will read it as a victory card. And it has the wreath on his head, wreath at the top, coming back from a battle. So, real sense of victory on the outside. But like I said, this is a duality here. So if you were to rip that green blanket off here, you would find out what the opposite of the victory is, which is the loss. This card, when it comes up in my deck, it's a card of grief. This is grief. This is my grief card in my deck. Your grief is sitting right in the middle of your dissociation when you were younger. And that's why you continue. And that's why you continue when this nudge comes up for you to feel something here. You have these three inner children that need healing. And when it comes up, you dissociate, you distract yourself because you don't want to feel it. If I had to pick one emotion that our king here, our ego self, and our emperor card, another masculine energy to represent our ego self, if I had to pick one emotion that they're petrified of all emotions, our ego self. But if I had to pick one emotion that was the most terrifying emotion to our ego self, it's grief. Because grief is so powerful. It is so powerful because it brings about change for us. And your inner children need to grieve. You as an adult, you need to grieve. You have a hell of a lot of pain that you're sitting with right now, and you need to grieve it. And there's shame in there when you grieve it as well. And so what's the advice from the tarot that's coming out for you right now in 2025? Well, you start off with this main card of the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords in an upright position speaks about this individual that, first of all, you have sword energy, and I didn't talk about sword energy, and that is our mental thoughts, our mental belief systems that we have about ourselves, our truth, getting back to our truth here. And so I think you're at a real crossroads here with your truth and finally deciding, I think I need to go there. This is blocked here. because you have very much, the Two of Swords speaks about an individual that is so blocked. You know, normally in the Rider-Waite deck, it's that individual with the blindfold on, they have the water behind them, and those are their emotions that are flowing, and they're just not willing to look at anything. And this is blocked for you. You are not willing to the point of, there's a heck of a lot of fear, that's resistance, that's even, you know, that's where you will, that's why you dissociate and go up in your head, because there's so much fear here to even consider going inwards to touch some of these emotions. Your Seven of Wands comes here, and these are clarifiers for why you feel so much fear and why you just can't touch this emotion of grief that needs to come out. You're in a situation now, I think, where you feel very much alone. This individual is standing up on a rock, and you know, the Wands is about taking your life in a different direction, and maybe you know you need to do this work, but I don't think you're feeling validated. A lot of times when we go on this healing journey, when we start to go on it, and it happened with me, where you'll have people in your close vicinity, your family, your good friends, where they'll just kind of go, who do you think you are? Get off that pedestal. What are you doing up there? Come back down. You know, people feel threatened by people that want to heal. Seriously. Like, and I think that's where you are, where you're not in a supported and environment where people are going to validate you for what work needs to be done. And this is a general reading, so, you know, it could or could not apply to you. And the last card that comes out for you is your Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful card here that comes out for you. And here's the ace. We saw we didn't see an ace, but we saw the Four of Cups with that ace, that hand coming there. Here's the hand again with the pentacle. Here's your body. Here's a little reminder. Well, this is actually an offer from the universe because it's an ace. It's a offer. It's a gift. We usually take it. It's like, here you go. Here's your chance. Here's your chance this year to make a commitment to yourself, to get back into your body, to learn what it means to ground into your body, to ground your mind, because you're very much in your head with your ego self. First of all, to ground this mind, and then to go inwards and ground your body. And I know a lot of people don't know how to do that. And we often sometimes think that meditation is a good way, but if we don't know what it means to be in our body, and we start to meditate, we can easily be still up in our head meditating. And that means our ego self is still controlling the whole show. So you really have to learn how to get back in your body. And that's what I'm going to leave you as a playlist at the end, where I teach you how to ground your mind and I teach you how to ground your body. And so powerful reading for you, Pisces. I loved how it all just kind of, came together. I want you to have compassion for yourself this year for what you're working through. This is the most difficult journey of your life, this healing journey, and we're all on it. Not everybody knows it though, but it's the most important journey of your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.